like in late October in New Hampshire. 70 degrees and sunny. Can everybody please give it up for your outstanding United States Senator Jeanne Shaheen? Your next governor, Maggie Hassan. Your next Congresswoman, Annie Kuster. And I'm just going to say something special about one of the most talented singers, songwriters that America's ever had. He has just been a great friend. This guy has been working his tail off on behalf of this campaign. I couldn't be prouder that he's working with us. James Taylor. I love you back. 10 days, New Hampshire. 10 days. 10 days, and you'll be stepping into a voting booth and making a defining choice for the future of our country. Not just a choice between two candidates or two political parties, it is a choice between two fundamentally different visions for America. We believe in the values that built the largest middle class, the strongest economy the world's ever known. The promise that hard work will pay off. The promise that responsibility will be rewarded. The idea at the core of this nation that no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, this is a country where everybody gets a fair shot and everybody does their fair share. We believe that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. We insist on personal responsibility. We don't believe anybody's entitled to success. We know we all have to earn it.
Yeah.
We honor the strivers, the dreamers, the risk takers. Everybody who's been the driving force behind our free enterprise system, the greatest engine of growth and prosperity the world's ever known. But we also believe that the true measure of prosperity is more than just a running tally of corporate balance sheets, quarterly profit reports. We measure prosperity not just by how many millionaires and billionaires we produce. We measure prosperity by how well a typical family's doing. How well our kids are getting a great education and can go as far as their dreams and hard work will take us. We understand that in this country, people succeed when they've got a chance at a decent education, when they can learn new skills. And by the way, so do the businesses that hire them, or the companies that they start. We believe our economy grows when we support research into medical breakthroughs, new technologies like clean energy and fuel-efficient cars. We know that our country is stronger when we can count on affordable health insurance. When we protect our kids from toxic dumping and mercury pollution. When there are rules in place to make sure that we aren't taken advantage of by credit card companies or mortgage lenders or financial institutions. We know we're better off when politicians in Washington aren't allowed to make decisions about health care that women are perfectly capable of making. That's what we believe. That's the vision that we embrace. I appreciate that. Governor Romney now, he's got an entirely different view about what this country's about. Now, he's been running around saying he's got a 5-point plan for the economy. Turns out it's a 1-point plan. Folks at the very top get to play by a different set of rules than you do. They get to pay lower tax rates, outsource jobs. They want to let Wall Street run wild, make reckless bets with other folks' money. That was his philosophy when he was a CEO. That was his philosophy as governor. And as President Clinton said, he does have a lot of brass because he's not talking about big change, but all he's offering is a big rerun of the same policies that created so much hardship for so many Americans. And you know, Governor Romney's been out here making a lot of last-minute promises lately. Said he's all about fighting for the middle class. Says he'd cut taxes for everybody and asked something from nobody. But the problem is, we've heard those promises before. Now keep in mind, Governor Romney lives just a few miles south of here, in the state of Massachusetts. Love Massachusetts. During Governor Romney's campaign for governor down there, he promised the same thing he's promising now.
He didn't deliver.
For jobs and middle-class families. But once he took office, he pushed through a tax cut that overwhelmingly benefited 278 of the wealthiest families in the state. And then he raised taxes and fees on middle-class families to the tune of $750 million.
Right.
Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
When he's asked about this, he says, no, these weren't taxes, these were fees. But keep in mind, there were higher fees to be a barber, higher fees to become a nurse. There were higher fees for gas.
Yeah.
There were higher fees for milk.
Everything.
There were higher fees for blind people who needed to get a certificate that they were blind.
That's right.
He raised fees to get a birth certificate, which would have been expensive for me. He raised fees for marriage certificates and fees for funeral homes. So there were literally cradle to grave tax hikes and fees. And when he left office, there were only 3 states in the country that had created fewer jobs than Massachusetts. And by the way, one of them was Louisiana, that had been hit by Hurricane Katrina. He talks a lot about small businesses, still talks about it. Says, I'm a business guy, I know about small businesses. Massachusetts, when he was governor, ranked 48th in small business creation. And one of the 2 states that ranked lower was Louisiana, that had gotten hit by Hurricane Katrina. So, you know, this is a guy who has a track record of saying one thing and doing something else.
Amen.
On the other hand, when I ran 4 years ago, I made promises too. I promised to cut taxes for middle-class families, and I did by $3,600. I promised to cut taxes for small business owners, and I did 18 times. I promised to end taxpayer-funded Wall Street bailouts.
Yeah.
We had. And by the way, we got every dime worth of money that we used for the bank rescue, and we got interest with it too. I promised to take on those financial institutions that were charging too much for student loans. Yeah. And we, as a consequence, were able to make college more affordable for millions of Americans. I promised I'd never walk away from the millions of jobs that were in jeopardy when the auto industry was on the brink of collapse. We decided to ignore Governor Romney's business advice when he said Detroit should go bankrupt. And now, America, we are building the best cars on earth. 4 years ago, I promised to end the war in Iraq, and we did. We will begin the transition in Afghanistan, and we are. I said we go after the terrorists who attacked us on 9/11. And thanks to the brave men and women in uniform, the courage of our Navy SEALs, Al-Qaeda is on to defeat Osama bin Laden's day. After losing 9 million jobs, under the theories that Governor Romney is now promoting, our businesses, under the ideas we've been working with, have added more than 5 million new jobs over the last 2.5 years. Manufacturing, highest highest job growth in manufacturing since the 1990s. The unemployment rate is falling. Manufacturing's coming back to our shores. Our assembly lines are humming again. Housing prices are starting to pick up. Housing starts are on the move. We've got a lot of work to do, but New Hampshire, the country, has come too far for us to turn back now. We got to continue with the policies that are getting out of the mess. We got to move forward. Together. Yes. You know, unlike Governor Romney's plan, he doesn't like to talk about it too much. I have a plan that will actually create jobs, that will actually lower our deficit, and will actually provide the middle class with a greater sense of security. And the good news is my plan, the math actually adds up. If you want to check it out, you can go to BarackObama.com/plans. And I want you to share it with your friends and your neighbors and your co-workers. There are still people out there who are trying to make up their minds. And some of you who are here may be trying to make up your mind. Maybe your girlfriend dragged you out here. No. You know, maybe grandma said, you've got to go to the Obama rally. And you're still trying to figure it out. So I'm asking you to come with Governor Romney's. I want you to know what we're proposing, each of us, and see which plan is better for you and what is better for the future of America. So, number one, I want to end tax breaks for companies that are shipping jobs overseas. Small businesses and manufacturers who are putting down roots here, hiring American workers, creating American products, stamped with three proud words, made in America. We can bring those jobs back to our shores. Number two, I want to cut our oil imports in half by 2020.
Yeah.
So we control more of our own energy. You know, because of the work we've already done, increasing oil production, increasing natural gas production, but also emphasizing renewables like solar and wind and biofuels. Today, we are less dependent on foreign oil than at any time in the last 2 decades. That's good for your pocketbook. That's good for our national security. It's good for the environment. And one reason we have confidence we can keep on making progress is we've doubled the fuel efficiency standards for cars and trucks. So in the middle of the next decade, you'll go twice as far on a gallon of gas. I want us now to build on that progress. We've got to keep making those investments. I don't want fuel-efficient cars and long-lasting batteries, wind turbines, and solar panels produced in China.
Right.
I want them produced right here in New Hampshire. Number three, we have to make it a national mission to educate our kids and train our workers better than anybody else in the world. I want to recruit 100,000 new math and science teachers because we know that's an area where we can't afford to fall behind. I want to train 2 million workers at our community colleges for the skills that businesses are hiring for right now. And I want to work with colleges and universities to make sure that tuition does not keep on going up because our young people can't afford the debt that they are taking on, and that's something we can do. Number four, my plan will reduce the deficit by $4 trillion over the next 10 years in a balanced way.
Yeah.
We're going to cut out spending we don't need. We've already cut out $1 trillion worth of spending. We can do more. But I'm also going to ask the wealthiest Americans to pay a little bit more.
Thank you.
So we can invest in the research and technology and education that will keep new jobs and businesses coming to America. And under the guise of reducing the deficit, I will never turn Medicare into a voucher system. Because no American should have to spend their golden years at the mercy of an insurance company. And by the way, I think we saw just this past week, we don't need a whole bunch of politicians in Washington, most of whom are male, making health care decisions for women. I don't think your boss or your insurance company should be making those decisions either. I believe women should be making their own health care decisions. That's why the health care law we passed put those choices in your hands, where they belong, and that's where they'll stay, as long as I'm President of the United States.
And you will be!
Finally, number 5, we're going to use the savings from ending the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan to put our people back to work. Let's do some nation building here at home. Let's rebuild our roads, our bridges, our schools. Let's lay broadband lines into rural communities all across the country. And as we're doing that, we're going to be putting our veterans back to work. We've got to serve them as well as they've served us. Because nobody who fights for this country should have to fight for a job or a roof over their heads.
Thank you, Mr. President!
That's the plan we need, New Hampshire. That's how you build a strong, sustainable economy. That's how you make sure that middle-class jobs that pay a good wage are out there. That's how you encourage new businesses to start here and stay here in America. That's how you increase take-home pay, not just by talking about it. That's how you build an economy where everybody who works hard can get ahead. And that's what we can do together.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, New Hampshire, it's now up to you. It's your choice. It's up to the young people who are here to choose a future that is worthy of all your dreams. It's up to the not so young people here, including me. I'm included in that category. To make sure we're leaving the kind of America we want for future generations. You know, you can choose the top-down policies that got us into this mess.
No.
But I think we need to build on the policies that are helping us to make real progress all across this country. You can choose a foreign policy that's reckless and wrong, or you can choose the kinds of leadership that I provide, that's steady and strong.
Yes.
You can choose to turn back the clock 50 years for women and immigrants and gays, or in this election, you can stand up for that basic principle enshrined in our founding documents. Through tough times. Well, we've been through tough times before, and we are tough. We always come out on top. We always bounce back. Because we pull together. Because we look after one another. Because we don't leave anybody behind. Because when we succeed, we prop that door open and bring